Las Vegas real estate peaked in spring. You can still get that historic price, but you need to know what I'm about to tell you, and it's coming up on the other side. Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Rob Hau, Rockstar Realtor. That makes me the realtor and you the rock star. So when you're ready to go on tour to find your home or to sell your home and put it on stage and sell it like that, well, now you know how. Rob Hau. And I've got a bunch of information for you today about how to still get the historic prices that we landed on in spring. Never before seen in Las Vegas and Henderson. Basically the Las Vegas Valley. They peaked, crazy prices. And now the market's changing a bit because the interest rates have been going up higher and higher. And I do have to talk about my last prognostication as well. I got something a little bit off. Actually, kind of a lot of bit off in my mind. I needed to juxtapose a little bit of a lot of what people were saying. And also, I was hoping a little bit. I was hoping that we wouldn't see what we saw. So anyway, let me get right to what sellers need to know. And listen, if you're a buyer, you should listen up too, because this is a hint for you about what you can do right now, what you can do to help yourself purchase a property and still get a great interest rate. If you're a seller and you want to get the price you're looking for, you want to get that last highest comparable sale that sold, well, you know that it's going to appraise. The appraisal should be good because now you have comparable sales like your home that have sold. Okay, and they sold at that value. Now you want to get that value. So you're going to price at or around that number. You don't want to move it too high. And then what you're going to do is you're going to plan on paying some closing costs. All right?
Doesn't sound exciting, I'm sure.
But this is the way to do it. This is the way to still get that number and then offer closing costs to a buyer so that they can, number one, pay down their rate. That way they can pay down their interest rate and they can afford to buy your home. This is how it's going to be done in the next couple months. If you're smart, you're going to go ahead and take a little hit on the front end so that you can get your home sold quicker and not have to tempt what may be happening as the market continues down the road. It's changing. The market is definitely changing and things are, going to be harder to sell as inventory stacks up. So that's one way you can compete as a seller. That's how you can still get a very nice number on your property before who knows what happens next, right? And as a buyer, if you're listening, you're a buyer, don't worry so much about the price you're paying for the property. You can buy down your interest rate by asking for the seller to pay closing costs. It's kind of reversed. Before, when we were crazy, you'd have to pay above appraisal. Now the seller's gonna have to pay a little bit of closing costs in order to make this work out and help people get into a property with these rates that have been drastically changed that I got wrong. I had in my prognostication last week, I said that we would only have a rate movement, or I really was hoping only a rate movement of 0.25% or not at all. I felt that considering the high gas prices and a number of other things with Wall Street that have been going on, I knew that if they raised those rates aggressively, you would see a reaction to that in a number of different ways. And without a doubt, we've seen that reaction because they went up 0.75%. That's nearly a full percent. And that is the largest increase since the 90s. About 30 years ago, they jacked up the rate. You have to remember, this is on top of already a couple of other rate movements and with the expectation that they're going to do more. I know why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want to avoid a full-on crash. Actually, they want to push a recession right now. The Fed is pushing recession. You can tell me if you disagree with that, but I believe that they would rather see a recession, hopefully a short one, and get inflation under control with raising the interest rates than they would like to see a crash, right? I think that would be preferable, and that's what they're trying to avoid. They waited too long. They should have had interest rate movements last year, late in last year, at least some easing of those rates in, maybe some small movements on the rates last year would have helped. And we would have still had a busy market. It would have still been a great time to buy through these times, but now you would have eased it in. And by now, maybe some of those actions would have helped, and you wouldn't have to be sort of moving to the point where you're pushing to basically trigger a recession. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I think they're doing. Maybe somebody who doesn't sound crazy at all. So that said, my other predictions are now more, they're basically going to be on the high side of those predictions. Basically, we're going to see inventory stack up faster. We're going to be probably like, I don't know, it could be before the end of the summer that we're at what is considered to be a nice buyer's market at 6 months inventory. The last numbers came out at 2.5 months of inventory. And I believe by the summer's end, we could shoot all the way up to 6 months of inventory. I've been seeing a lot coming on, and I've been seeing a lot of overpriced stuff come down. They're trying to sell those properties. And again, the smart sellers are saying, listen, we're going to do that because we've gained a lot of equity and we don't want to keep losing it. All right, we want to sell as soon as we can. Be a smart seller. Sell as soon as you can. If not, you might have to wait it out a little bit. I am thinking that we are looking at a cycle that's going to happen for a little while. Buyers with cash, well, your opportunities are ahead. So that's about what I had for today. Fairly quick little market update that I wanted to give you. Just throwing out some ideas for you if you are a seller right now that'll help you sell your property, and if you're a buyer, that'll help you buy a property and get a comfortable rate, okay? Before those rates get up too high. All right, I always say, I'm gonna keep saying it, I'd rather buy at a high price and a low interest rate than a high interest rate and a low price. Obviously, there's numbers that where that doesn't make sense. There's a threshold in between all of that.
But right now,
at this very moment, I would rather, if I was in a position that I knew I needed to buy and wanted to get out of the rental market.
oh, by the way,
Let me just add this on before I go. The rental market, because of what's happening with rates, is only going to get stronger. This is a big concern that I have, that rentals are just going to become more expensive because people can't do the alternative and buy. The interest rate is kicking them out of being able to buy. I do think some people are lowering their expectations on what they're going to buy. So maybe you were buying a $500,000 property before, now you're buying a $400,000 property. That makes sense too. And maybe you were buying a resident or a single family home, now you're looking at condos. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of that. But I do think that buying is a heck of a lot better than renting.
And renting is only going to get worse.
So I hope you enjoyed my market update for this week. I will be having, of course, more videos. Please subscribe to my channel. There's a whole lot more where this came from. And just remember, if you're looking for a realtor, now you know Hau. That's me, Rob Hau. And I am the realtor that makes you the rock star. So when you're ready to hit the stage and sell your home or go on tour to buy a home, I'm your guy. See y'all later.